Look, it's chaos in Parliament again this evening as Tory Deputy Chairs Lee Anderson and Brendan Clark-Smith both sensationally resign after backing the rebel amendments to the Rwanda bill. It's surely not a good look for Rishi Sunak as the general election looms large and his choice to let loyal MPs walk while he continues cozying up to Chief Tory wet of yesteryear, David Cameron. Well, just have a look at that picture. It's caption competition time, everybody, OK? Look at that picture. The posh boys are back in power, aren't they? The posh Southerners. And meanwhile, you've got your working-class red wall Rottweilers like Lee Anderson. They're being ousted, OK? Are people now feeling betrayed? Has he just signed off completely on the red wall? Tonight, I am asking, was Rishi Sunak wrong to force Lee Anderson's resignation? Let me know your thoughts. Email me gbviews@gbnews.com. Tweet me at gbnews. While you're there, go and vote in our poll. I'll bring you those results in a few short minutes. But first, going hammer and tongs at this now, is former Education Minister Dame Andrea Jenkyns and Tory grandee and former Minister Edwina Currie. Dame Andrea, I'll start with you. Was Rishi Sunak wrong to force Lee Anderson and Brendan's resignation?
I wouldn't say it was wrong I mean, I used to be a whip, and I've been a minister, and even when you're a deputy chairman of the party, you adhere to the ministerial code. And it's well known that if you sign a government amendment or vote against a government, you need to resign. Now, on the other hand, I mean, I was the first one to resign under Theresa May with her appalling Brexit deals. And so it's right that you resign. But I think that I take my hat off to Brendan and Lee. You know, they're both great guys, and they've resigned on conviction. So I think they've done the right thing. But the real problem for me, Patrick, is the fact that it's been watered down so much, the Rwanda bill, so much so that, you know, Robert Jenrick, the immigration minister, had to resign. He put the amendments in himself, which you know, I was one of the signatories on the amendments. And it's because he's watered it down. So it's had this knock-on effect where they've had to resign.
OK, all right. Edwina, do you think they were right to resign and to vote for these amendments? Then what do you think?
Well, let me just say, I love you calling me a grandee, but I've never been anywhere near the honours list. Unlike the great dame that I'm sharing tonight with. So I feel deeply honoured. I think this is more a matter of exasperation than anything else. I read Lee Anderson's letter. I thought it was a very, very good letter, very measured, very supportive of the Prime Minister's efforts, and really just differing very slightly towards the end about whether the bill is going to be strong enough or not. And actually, nobody knows. Goes through and it's actually tested, and it will be tested. I have no doubt about that. Whether it's going to be effective deterrent, personally, I don't think so. And do I think we're actually going to get anyone going to Rwanda before the general election? Not a chance. But I don't honestly think this is a huge disaster for the Prime Minister. He ended up with big majorities tonight, and I think he'll get the bill through on third reading in the Commons tomorrow. What will happen in the House of Lords is a different question entirely.
Oh, great.
I mean, I think, Patrick, actually, that, I mean, Edwina, you know, I respect you as a politician, but you clearly see history repeating itself here. I mean, if we look back when you was in from the 92 to 97 Parliament, you know, disaster was coming down the track. But due to misguided loyalty to John Major, you know, with respect, people like yourself and other MPs during the time, misguided loyalty, they could have got rid of John Major in 95, and look, you lost your seat. Many other Conservatives lost their seat in 97, and I feel we're heading towards that at the moment. And so I think that it's right that we see these resignations, and I agree with you. You know, flights are not going to go off to Rwanda with this appalling policy. We're letting down the British public, and I'd like to see more resignations and a new leader, one who's, you know, got the strength and the gumption to see this through. And, you know, actually do what Suella wanted, do what also what Robert Jenrick wanted, and then deliver for the people, because with this policy, we are not delivering for the British public.
So Edwina, what Andrea is saying there is, you know, more resignations, change of leader. With respect, Edwina, what you have just said is what everyone can see, which is, for all of the talk, this bill probably isn't going to work. It's probably not going to be a deterrent. We're probably not going to end up with sending anyone to Rwanda anyway. I mean, do you not agree with me? What's the point? What's the point of all of this now, unless you just rip it up and start again? I mean, you just back, we'll back Rishi Sunak so that we don't get a snap election in a Labour government. But nothing, we've had all this fanfare and resignation and everything for absolutely naff all.
Well, if we weren't doing the Rwanda bill, I agree. I think we could concentrate on other issues that are very significant indeed to the welfare and the prosperity of the British people. That would be my preference. It's one of the reasons why I think Rwanda is an absolute herring. But let me just remind Andrea, with the greatest possible respect, you put in for and you wanted a change of leader. Let me see, Theresa May. So then we got Boris. And then we got Liz Truss, and then we got Rishi Sunak. Do you know what? A leader of a party, and particularly of a government, is only as good as the people behind him who support him or her. And if he's got a lot of flaky people behind him, then his position is bound to be weakened. I would say, Andrea, stick with what you've got, because I tell you what, could be actually much worse.
Can I ask, did you actually say that during Boris's time?
Like chaos. That is what you're
did you say that during Boris's time and Liz Truss's time, or is it because we've got a wet in charge now? Did you say that during Liz Truss and Boris's time? Because I thought we should have backed them. They was backed by the members, and Boris was democratically
Andrea, finish.
Don't understand how government works. And you have to back the government.
Edwina, simple question. Did you say the same thing, that we should have got behind Boris or Liz? Boris was democratically elected. Did you say the same thing?
Oh yes, particularly on Boris. My goodness, over and over and over again. If we have a prime minister, and we have prime ministers with many different and very good qualities, almost immediately demanding that they got rid of is really, with greatest possible respect.
Look at the polling. It's the worst we've had. It's not cutting through. We will let the socialists in if we don't get a new leader, Edwina. It's last chance saloon now. Get a strong leader, a true conservative leader who will stand up to the European Court of Human Rights, who will deliver for the British public, and let's get this show on the road, because it's stalled at the moment.
Well, with all due respect, the polls are suggesting that many things are already decided in the voters' minds and many things are not. But having another leadership contest is the last thing any of us need. You and I should be actually singing from the same page, Andrea. We should be saying, look, let's back the Prime Minister, let's get the good stuff done, and then we can go to the electorate saying we've managed to achieve all this. We need some more time. Let's have the time.
I back the previous two prime ministers.
Or Andrea, who would you look? Who would you have? We talk about get a proper conservative in all of this. I mean, who is it though, Andrea? Go on.
I mean, for me, it'd have to be someone from the right. So I think the right need to unite behind one candidate. That is going to be the problem. Otherwise, we're going to get two left wingers on the ballot for members. So I mean, either the likes of Pretty, Suella, or Jacob. One of them I will be happy with. But they need to
back all of you. All the people on the right, you're all like ferrets in a sack. That's what happens when people on the fringes are.
To be fair, Edwina, I do put it to you, right, that at the moment, the reason why Rishi Sunak is in a world of trouble is because he's not actually listening to what the vast majority of the British public want. 9 out of 10 constituencies want lower net migration. Overwhelmingly, people want people deported if they enter this country illegally. And Rishi Sunak is too keen on listening to people like Damien Green instead of actually doing what it takes. And I do put it to you, Edwina, actually. I'll just come out and say this. Rishi Sunak, from my view, is far too concerned about what his legacy on the dinner circuit is going to be. He's got his legacy now. It's banning smoking for people under a certain age forever, and it's more A-levels. So it's education and it's health. That's great. Actually, what this country needs is a bloke who's going to man up and sort it out. And he's not got the minerals, has he, Edwina?
Well, personally, I think that stopping people smoking and having better...
Yeah, fine. Illegal immigration is more of a problem, Edwina, though, isn't it?
But to the British public, you actually said legal immigration as well, net immigration. Yeah. And that's what the government has allowed to get out of control and needs to be brought back in control. And if it means that some of these cod universities have to close because they're no longer getting lots of people in from India or China or wherever, that's fine, because they're not actually serving in this country. That's more important. A year ago, the Prime Minister made 5 pledges. The only one that I went, what? was about stopping the boats, with me thinking, actually, if immigration is the issue...
He could do it. He could do it. He could do it. He's just not prepared to do it yet.
And we know how to stop the boats. We stop them.
Ignore it and we'll do it.
Illegal
All
immigrants
right, we are running over. We are running over, which is mostly my fault because I got carried away there. But thank you very, very much, both of you. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I stay Andrea Jenkyns there, former Conservative Minister as well, Edwina Currie. Thank you very, very much. So who do you agree with? Was Rishi Sunak wrong to force Red Wall MPs Lee Anderson and Brendan Clark-Smith resignations? Mick on X says, this is the final nail in the coffin for Sunak's government, as far as I'm concerned. I don't blame Lee and Brendan for a second. Cranford says, awful leadership from Sunak, grief. If our Prime Minister can't even listen to his own MPs, what hope do we have of him listening to the British people? Richard says, Sunak didn't force them, it was a blatant career move. They know their safe seat status is gone. And if they had any integrity, they'd have left ages ago. Your verdict is 77% of you agree that Sunak was wrong to force the resignations of Lee Anderson and Brendan Clark-Smith. 23% of you say that he wasn't.